Pastor Williams to please come for the invocation and the pledge of allegiance. You may stand if you like.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us together in this moment. We acknowledge you as the source of wisdom, peace, and truth, and invite the President to this meeting. Bless every official in this place, Lord, guide every conversation and every decision made here tonight, and every voice be heard with grace, and every heart be open to wisdom. Father, lead us in what is right and beneficial for your entire community. Have your way in this place. That your will be done. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. Our mayor is out of town, taking care of some great business in D.C., and she will be returning. Let's continue to lift her up in prayer for safe travels. Addition and deletions to the agenda. Ms. Jackson.
I make a motion that we delete item E, town manager search drone number, and Harold Owens, North Carolina legal municipalities.
Give a second.
Second.
Been probably moved and second. And we'll move on to approval of the agenda. Motion to approve the agenda. Commissioner Jackson.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda.
Commissioner Burgess.
Second.
Been probably moved and second. Approval of the consent items. Motion to approve the consent items for draft minutes of March the 19th, 2026 special meeting, as well as draft minutes March the 23rd, 2026 work session meeting. Commissioner Thompson.
So moved.
Can we get a second? Commissioner Cooper.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second. Okay, we have public comments. There is 3 minutes per speaker. And I think we've been here long enough to understand and to abide by the rules that, for the town. So we'll ask our first one to come up. You have 3 minutes to speak. Quincy Marshall. Quinice Marshall.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Quinice Marshall. I'm a resident of Spring Lake. I live in the Deerfield complex. In 2021, the town faced a serious financial crisis. The local government commission stepped in after mismanagement and a finance officer was indicted for stealing over $500,000. That moment damaged both our finances as well as our reputation. Over the past 4 years, I've watched the mayor and a board of commissioners from all walks of life come together with respect and a shared mission. They built relationships, attended trainings, and worked hard to rebuild the town and restore public trust. They brought stability and professionalism back to Spring Lake. That progress matters, and we do not want to lose it. During the last election, Commissioners Jackson and Sutherland campaigned on transparency and improving communication, especially the idea that public comments should be acknowledged and responded to. But by their second meeting in office, the community saw the opposite. No engagement, no warning, no open discussions of concern. Instead, a closed session, a backdoor decision, and a town manager removed without explanation, while a replacement was already sitting in the audience. That is not transparency. And the continued lack of answers, despite repeated and respectful questions from the residents, only deepened the concern. I also want to address tone. I recently watched past meetings held by the commissioners at the time in office, Sutherland and Jackson. And there was a lot of yelling, there were a lot of threats. It made me think that I understand now why the reputation of Spring Lake was what it was, and we don't want to bring that energy back. This community is not here for bitterness, side comments, personal jabs, especially towards a board that worked hard to fix one of the lowest points in the town's history. This is an unprofessional and unnecessary, and we notice it. Please leave the egos at home. And I'll offer a simple analogy. A house is neglected to the point that outside people have to step in to rebuild it. When they are in the process of putting new people in that space to rebuild it, to allow it to fall apart and then walk back into the house and point out every little thing that hasn't been done, it's unnecessary, and that's exactly what that feels like. We have questions that still haven't been answered. One, what was the town manager dismissed for? What process was used to select a replacement? And Mr. English, exactly what the process was for hiring you, what your process was. And I'm hoping that we actually get some answers.
Thank you, Mrs. Marshall. Next, Pastor Steve England.
Steve England, at 201 South Main. I just wanted to tell the town how much I appreciate it, and the mayor also, for our time that we had Saturday. The mayor came out and she presented a award to a gentleman, and he wanted to make sure that I told you all how much he enjoyed that time and how much he enjoyed her picking him out. And I just wanted to thank you and for coming together. It's amazing that just the least little thing, something like a car and like horsepower, can bring people to you. So that was all I wanted to say. Just thank you, the board of commissioners, the mayor, the town, the chief of police, all of you for doing that for us. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you, Pastor. Our next one is Sean Bridges. Bridgener.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm here again to further discuss how we need to keep on coming together when we talk about the closing of Manchester Elementary. The public hearing, I believe, is on the 27th of this month, day one. We have a school board meeting tomorrow. It's really vital that we, the community, come out and show up. In the sense that we need to come and show what we want. I've reviewed the data extensively. I also have, it's all public access, and the public access is for what the enrollment number are. One of the main things that they're doing is they're saying that they had 257 kids enrolled when they did that survey. That was actually the number of kids they had enrolled at the beginning of the 2024-2025 year. Now we're at 30 to 15. So it is a marginal difference of approximately 58 kids. Not to mention just that, WT Brown is the same case. Something that I'm not sure the public seems to understand or look at is the simple fact that WT Brown kids are affected by this too. That's also some people that, if we know any families of those kids, they need to know too, because if the goal is to move Manchester to WT Brown, where WT Brown kids go? They have to go somewhere. So that's also something that they don't know, that they might not be going to WT Brown next year. And those families shouldn't be known this, and that should be knowledge that the school board should be talking about. And it's not just that, it's that we need to go there and we need to stress the fact that the data does not line up for a good closing. The intended data, that's wrong. Of the $800 million budget, $250 million of it was related to appearance. It was not items that needed to be replaced, it was items that they deemed were unclean, dirty, soiled, or deemed otherwise unsightly. $250 million of it. was literally because they microwave books. Another 150 is talking about energy conservation efforts. At what point does energy conservation efforts actually make your money back? Is it worth it to shut a school down to save a couple bucks on electricity because they've been better efficient school? How much time before the energy efficient things come into play? These are the things that we discuss and bring up to the Board of Education when it comes to things like that. Is that the dashboard down and the data points are everywhere. I will be going them all. I'm going to speak on the top of the data points. Unfortunately, the problem kind of is that they don't seem to really care that much. If I'm going to keep on hammering it, it's bad data with their stuff. And about all I have. Also, Mac Street, 1417, 1419. Can we get a speed bump right on there? The fine food. Front state, I take that.
Thank you, Mr. Richard, and thank you so very much for your research. There is a difference in the numbers of the children. We've been attending the board meetings, Board of Education meeting. Please get with Ms. Jackson as well as Ms. Chadwick to share that information, as well as they'll continue to share the information with you. Thank you so very much. Aviana Washington.
She's not here.
Okay. Mr. James O'Gara.
614 Middleton Road, Spring Lake. I just want to come out and let you know that I want to describe this as police running the neighborhood, and at my corner on Duncan and Lake Tree, the stop sign is like it's not there. But recently I noticed that the police have started parking over there in the corner, and it's become a stop sign there. And I want to compliment them for that. Also, I was going to say nothing about this, but I do know that the board, the board members had asked the other board members to come to a special board meeting, and they had turned it down on a number of occasions. And that's the partial reason why they never knew about the new town manager. That's part of the reason why they didn't know that these individuals wanted to fire the old town manager. Thank you. I'm going.
Thank you, Mr. O'Gara. Ms. Robin Chadwick.
Hello, my name is Robin Chadwick. I am your former Mayor Pro Tem as well as Commissioner, and I reside at 202 Duncan Road. So I'm coming to you today to talk about the Manchester closure and consolidation. So Manchester is more than a school, it's the heart of Spring Lake, and it is the last remaining school that truly belongs to our community. And its future directly affects the stability, pride, and growth of Spring Lake. So we're asking family, friends, neighbors, and community partners to stand with us. The Board of Education will meet on April 14th, which is tomorrow, at 6 p.m. And we need a powerful, united presence in the room. If you'd like to speak in support of keeping Manchester open, you must sign up on the Board of Education website between 12 and 5:30 p.m. on the day of the meeting. And we encourage everyone to log in at 11:45 so you can sign up the moment the portal opens. Our community has been asking for transparency and dialogue, and that request has finally been honored. A public forum will be held on April 27th from 6 to 7 p.m. at Manchester Elementary. This is our opportunity to speak directly about what the school means to us and why its closure will harm our community. We are asking every supporter to bring at least 3 to 5 additional people with you. Numbers matter. Our presence shows that Spring Lake is engaged, invested, and unwilling to lose a foundational part of our town. Spring Lake is a growing community, and we pay some of the highest taxes in Cumberland County, and our children deserve a state-of-the-art school in their neighborhood, not long bus rides in overcrowded classrooms. If Manchester closes and W.T. Brown reaches capacity, our students will be bused to Ponderosa Elementary School. That's right, Ponderosa Elementary School. And that means longer commutes, less connection to their home community, and fewer opportunities for families to stay involved. Keeping Manchester open is not just about a building. It's about preserving community identity, supporting local families, and ensuring equitable access to education. Not doing that is educational genocide. When a community loses its school, it loses a piece of its foundation, and we cannot allow that to happen here. Spring Lake has always been strong, resilient, and deeply rooted in pride. So now is the time to show. Let's invest in our children, our neighborhoods, and future by showing up, speaking out, and standing together. Manchester matters, Spring Lake matters, and our children matters. This is our time. This is a pivotal moment for us to be part of the conversation. Okay? So let's keep Manchester open. Please support us, and please come out tomorrow, and please come to our forum that will be held at Manchester Elementary. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chadwick, for your diligent, hard work that you even mentioned on last year when you served on the board about the closing of our schools. And we'll continue to support you. So thank you so very much for the work that you do for this great town of Spring Lake. Ms. Betty Sanford.
Praise the Lord, everybody.
He's worthy.
Betty Sanford, 104 Wapiti Drive. Search me, O Lord, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. See if there's any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting. We have to ask God to do that, okay? Because there are so many things that's going on in the community of Spring Lake. We're trying to get rid of the schools. We're saying we don't have houses. That's a lie. We do have houses. We have houses that people have not even moved into, brand new houses, but the cost is high. It needs to be lower. The next thing is the main roads. They need to be repaired. You got bumps all over the road. On 210, 87, you got buildings that are all messed up. They need to be removed or repaired. Then you got these children that are talking about going over to Ponderosa. No. That's not where they're going. They're going to stay right here in Spring Lake. In Spring Lake. Because this is where I live, and this is where my children were raised, right here in Spring Lake. I volunteered at that school. You see? And so it's gonna stay here. So I want all of Spring Lake, go to the meeting, be there, and say what needs to be said. Because we do have houses for people. And in my neighborhood, we have new people that have already moved into the neighborhood. Families of 9 children. Where are they going to school? You got your seniors that don't drive. So how are the children going to get to school? Come on now. We need to do something about this. The next thing is, I want to see more policemen. I want to see more in my community. I want to see them get somewhere and stop these people from driving so fast through the neighborhood. Because they drive too fast and nobody is there to stop them but me. And I tell them, you blink my lights, you need to stop. Some of them slow down, some of them give me the finger, but that's okay. But I said, I'm gonna get the police out there and gonna get you where you're supposed to be. Sign your name and you gonna get fined. The other thing is the water bill. Why do we have that kiosk? We don't need it. I don't see anybody using it, not that I'm over here every day. But we got that, and we don't need that. You got people that are in wheelchairs, you got people that's on walkers, and all these things. And then they got to walk all the way in here in order to pay their water bill. Come on now. That don't make no sense. Well, let's go. Remember what I said.
Thank you, Ms. Sanford. Ms. Betty Sanford has always been passionate about her neighborhood. Her and I have walked the neighborhoods. We have protested in the neighborhoods about the balance and things. So we thank you so very much, Ms. Sanford. Ms. Wilbur Graham.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
My name is Wilbur Graham, 1012 Parent Circle, in Spring Lake over in Woodland West. I'm just here this afternoon just to introduce myself and the organization with which I am a member. Again, my name is Wilbur Graham. I'm a retired Command Sergeant Major. Been here in Spring Lake since 1971, over 50 years. And my purpose here today is to introduce myself as the new Executive Director of the Sand Hills Family Heritage Association. And as you know, most of you know, we lost our director, Ms. Jenkins, back in October of last year. This year we'll be celebrating our 25th anniversary on the Juneteenth weekend, on June the 20th. We have three things I'd like to share with you that you might not know. One is that we have programs that serves the underserved community, such as food banks, health classes, things like that. But we also have two major projects that we're working this year. The first one is the Spring Lake Civic Center, which is located on 230 Chapel Hill Road. It's turning 75 years. We are renovating it this year, and we'll be working with the city to help us finish up that project. Additionally, and most people don't know this, is that we have the Deerfield Cemetery, which is over by the Tractor Supply company there at the end of their parking lot. It's the slave cemetery. Most people don't know that exists here in Spring Lake. We will also bring cultural tourism here to the city once we get these two projects completed. So again, my purpose this afternoon was just to come and introduce myself, and I look forward to meeting you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Graham, and of course, Ms. Amy Jenkins is certainly missed, but we thank you for stepping up to serve the community as well.
Mayor Pro Tem, I apologize. This is my fault. We need to go back and redo the motions after the second to make sure everybody is asking for affirmative or a nay. I apologize.
Okay.
Just for item 4 and item 5.
So we'll go back, approval of the agenda, a motion to approve or deny. Ms. Cooper?
I approve the agenda with the stated changes.
Yes.
Can we get a second? It's been seconded by Ms. Thompson.
I second.
All in favor?
Perfect.
Thank you. Approval of the consent items, motion to approve or deny. Ms. Thompson?
So moved.
Can we get a second?
I second.
It's been moved by Ms. Thompson, second by Commissioner Jackson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Okay. So we'll move on to the presentation, certificate of recognition. This is Mayor Kia Anthony. She's asked me to stand in as Mayor Pro Tem in lieu of Mayor Anthony. These certificates is for Spring Lake Fly Girls, along with Coach Drew and Coach T, for winning the basketball championship at the Spring Lake Recreation Center. And as I call your name, you can come up, please, and I think we normally stand over by the flag, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Zana Davis. Y'all give her a hand.
Stop right here, baby. Certificate.
Shiloh Collender. Jaleesa Liverton. Move over this way from the different. Congratulations. Job well done. You need to congratulate and again, keep doing the great work. Keep shooting those hoops, making those threes, and being the best you can be. I think the women leave tonight at 7 o'clock. It's gonna be on with their championship, so go look at it. Thank y'all. Take one more. Thank you. Next presentation will be done by Rayshonda Manuel, Community Development.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
Each year, Cumberland County Community Development prepares an annual action plan which serves as our roadmap for how we propose to use federal funding for our housing and community development funds in the upcoming year. We truly appreciate you taking a few moments to allow us to discuss our programs because community development works best when it is shaped not just by plans and funding, but by the people and the communities that those investments are intended to serve. Our annual action plan was published on March the 20th, and it is available for public comment during the 30-day period, which started on March the 20th, approximately through April the 20th. And thank you, that was great. So if you scan the QR code that is on the cover, it will take you to the county website, and the annual action plan will come up. If there's any public comments coming from the community, then feel free. I think we have some cards, we mailed them to Town Hall for them to write on and put their comments on. Okay, absolutely perfect. And a copy is also on the website. So tonight is just not an informational meeting. It is an opportunity for you to help shape the priorities and projects that impact your community. Because while we're responsible for administering these funds, we want to make sure that the work continues to reflect real community needs, not just what looks good on paper. So tonight I want to focus specifically on what we do, our entitlement grants. These are federal funds that the county receives through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and the two primary entitlement grants we administer are the Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG, and the Home Investment Partnerships Program, called That Home. These are our primary funding sources that support much of the housing, public services, and infrastructure we do throughout Cumberland County. Now, while those names sound a lot political and they're all federal, the purpose behind them is very practical. The funds can be used to primarily benefit low to moderate income persons, aid in the prevention of or elimination of slum and blight, or address an urgent need, and that is like a federally declared public disaster. So in plain terms, these funds are intended to help our communities where the need is greatest and the impact can be meaningful. Our programs are our housing program, that is our bread and butter, that's what we do most of. Our public facilities programs, our infrastructure programs, housing rehabs, minor housing repairs, public services, investor rehabs, which we call those our rental rehabs, and our affordable housing. In Spring Lake alone, last year, I do have a number to present to you tonight. We did approximately $181,853 in housing repair and rehab. have actually partnered with Kingdom Community Development Corporation, and we were partners with them in the Elizabeth Street project, if I'm not mistaken, it's right across the street. Okay, so if you would like to take a look at those, I'm sure Mr. Manning would love to have you look at those, that tour and see those homes, they're beautiful. So with those funds, we continue to do all of our projects. Upcoming, we have our public services, our affordable housing, and our infrastructure and our public facilities applications online right now. They'll be online, well, the application closes, I want to say April 17th. So on the website, if you see April 10th, that's my fault because I made a great error and I did not catch that typo. So it's April 17th, so that is coming this week. And Commissioners, with that is all I have for you this evening, so I will answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions?
I have none.
I did have a couple of questions. How would someone who needs, housing rehab go about getting those funds?
You will need to call the office and schedule an appointment with our administrative professional, and she will, get your intake information. And when she does that, we'll call you in for the appointment. And how that goes, we're government, so we're a little slow. We'll, make an appointment and see if they qualify for the program, because they have to be income qualified. After that, we'll, have our housing rehab specialists go out and do an assessment of the homes, see the repairs. So they can qualify for the repair program and our housing rehab program. We call that a full. And then we have our minor housing repair project. That's up to $30,000 for minor repairs. Now, a few years ago, if you're familiar with the program, was a few years ago, our minor was only $10,000. About 2 years ago, we went to the board and told them that was not enough to do minors because of COVID and all the different things that happened with construction. And so I really don't want to get up here and start talking about no construction like sheetrock and boards and 2x4 and all that stuff went up. So we were not able to keep up with the growing need that we had. 12 years ago, when I started with community development, we could put an AC unit and windows in a house for $10,000. We cannot do that anymore. So we had to do something to kind of alleviate or minimize that as much as possible. So back to your question, madam, where we do the assessment, the housing rehab specialist determines if the house is in full or a minor. And then they work with the homeowner to work that out. Now, our full is set up as a deferred forgivable loan, in which we defer the loan for 6 years, and then every year after that, up to 15 years, we knock off the full amount of that each year until the loan is complete. A lot of times, our citizens do get a little afraid, especially our senior citizens, when we say a loan, but that helps to protect them when we put a lien on the house. Because a lot of times in our elderly community, I have not seen it happen in a few years, but prior to my starting with CE, the elderly would get subject to family members or something taking advantage of them and selling the house out under them, and then the government would be out of their money. So we implemented, put a lien on the property until it is complete, until the 15-year period, affordability period is complete, and then we release the loan. So we release, so it does not cost the citizens anything if they're approved for the program. Now, our minors, the up to $30,000, that is a grant. So there is no lien or anything put on them. But if you would like, I will have someone get some information out there to you. We have some little cards with this information summarized on them. I'll make sure that some gets mailed out here over the break.
Okay, yeah, we have a lot of seniors in our community, and, with the taxes going up and everything going up, it'd be good if we could point them in your direction for something, minor that we need done.
Yes, ma'am, we'll do as many as we can until the money runs out.
Thank you.
One more question for you. It says here that it's a federal HUD funding loan. So is that a low interest loan?
No, it's a deferred forgivable loan.
Okay.
That means the 6 years, go back to that, we put a lien on the house with an affordability period of 15 years. During the first 6 years, it is deferred. I mean, we don't charge you anything, and then on year 6, we start knocking off. So for instance, if that payment was going to be $2,000 a year for the remaining term of that loan, we knock that off until it's a zero balance.
Okay.
Do you have a business card? I can reach out to you afterwards, because We have, go ahead.
I don't have a business card, but I can do something better.
What's that?
I got your information.
You have
Oh,
information.
yes,
Carly
I
has
give him a pen and he can tap his phone and on it.
Oh, okay.
You get what? You give them.
You said tap your phone.
Yes, sir. Tap your phone. Tap it. Tap your phone.
Okay.
Now, it might be the front or the back. I don't know what kind of phone you have.
I will do it later.
Okay, then whenever your NFC is on, if you tap it, it'll bring you to the county website.
The reason why I was asking, we'd like to invite you, we're gonna have a focus group meeting on revitalization of town infrastructure on the 21st. And that's one of our focus groups for our strategic plan. Mr. Manning is a part of that committee as well, and so I think it'd be good that, you know, just come in and be a part of that conversation on the 21st.
What time?
4 o'clock.
And here?
Yes, sir.
And if we don't have it here, because it's growing, we may have it at the Council of Government. And that's off Rayford Road.
Okay.
So if you, Carly will give me your information, and Commissioner Burgess is spearheading that focus group.
Yes, sir. Okay. I will try my best to see if I can make it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
Number C, BRC grant, Amanda. Sherrick.
Good evening, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak here. My name is Amanda Schett. I'm the Cumberland County Emergency Management Coordinator. Today I'm here to talk to you about a path forward for Spring Lake to address flood mitigation and infrastructure resilience through the Building Resilient Infrastructure in Communities, also known as the BRIC program. So BRIC is FEMA's primary mitigation grant program. The goal is to reduce future disaster impacts by investing in projects before disasters occur. So this slide shows you what mitigation looks like in action, taking steps before a disaster to reduce its impact, whether it's strengthening buildings, protecting against flooding, or managing wildfire risk. The goal is the same: lessen the damage before it happens. We can't prevent hazards, but we can reduce how they affect our community. For Spring Lake, that can mean improving things like drainage and protecting infrastructure. Mitigation fits across the entire disaster cycle. It's not just one phase, it's ongoing. It's about reducing or eliminating long-term risks to people and property from hazards. While response and recovery happens after the event, mitigation is what strengthens the community before and after, helping us become more resilient over time. It's how we break the cycle of damage and rebuilding and instead build stronger from the start. Every dollar invested in mitigation saves multiple dollars in future disaster costs, so this is really about both being proactive and fiscally responsible. This funding cycle, FEMA is prioritizing projects that are ready to be implemented and can demonstrate measurable risk reduction. This means the stronger and more developed the project is, the more competitive it will be. BRIC supports projects like stormwater improvements, flood mitigation systems, and protection to critical infrastructure. These are the same types of needs that have previously been identified locally, which positions Spring Lake to be well competitive. What you're seeing here are real examples of flooding impacts within Spring Lake. I'm sure we all recognize many of these photos. We've seen the effects of severe weather, stormwater challenges, and infrastructure strain across multiple areas of this community. Addressing these issues proactively helps reduce future damages, lowers recovery costs, and strengthens overall resilience. There have been prior discussions and efforts to address these concerns, including stormwater initiatives and drainage improvement projects in areas like Deerfield and Wapiti. These challenges are also reinforced through the county's hazard mitigation plan, which identifies flood-prone areas and infrastructure vulnerabilities. Together, this gives us a clear understanding of the problem and a straight point for an opportunity to continue to move forward. From a funding standpoint, BRIC typically covers 75% of project costs with the potential for up to 90% depending on eligibility. Projects in the national competition can receive up to $20 million in federal funding, which creates a significant opportunity for the town. The current BRIC timeline has an application deadline set for July 23rd at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. The North Carolina Notice of Funding Opportunity is expected to be released this week, along with an informational call to walk requirements and to answer requirements and questions. While this is a relatively short turnaround for a project of this size, we're confident that the town's understanding of its own needs and ability to move forward strategically. With a focused approach, identifying a priority project and building it out efficiently, this remains an achievable opportunity. Cumberland County Emergency Management is available to assist throughout the process within our capabilities to help position the town for a strong and competitive submission. At the end of the day, this is about moving from identified needs to real solutions. The key is focusing on a project that is ready to be built to support the community. With that, I'm willing to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions? Commissioner Cooper?
Thank you. So that massive flooding, from what we understand, was because they breached the Wood Lake Dam up in Moore County.
Yes, ma'am. So we have, the Little River runs right through Spring Lake, and it is fed a lot by the dammed off area in Moore County. Unfortunately, we can't control everything that's done over there, but we want to make sure that we're positioning the community to, if they do need to release the water from that dam, that the residents here in the community are not as impacted.
Yeah, well, that was going to be my question. What could we do in case that happens in the future to prevent the widespread flooding that we experienced?
There's a variety of projects that are options. We have to sit down and have a discussion on what has occurred and different potentials, which I'm happy to sit down with anybody to go through that process to identify potential projects.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Any more questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on to number D, minimum housing upgrade, Derek Navy. Alliance Code Enforcement.
Hello, good to see you. Some of your faces I know, some of you are new. You don't know who I am. I'm Derek May. I work for Alliance Code Enforcement. I am your contract code enforcement officer. So we're moving back towards me doing some presentations for you, being a part of the focus group, things like that. So our first thing that we can look at, what I'd like to do is just go over our most recent 2 monthly reports. Moving from there, I'd like to go into where any questions that you may have. If there's anything on the report that you may not understand or want to get some clarification on, please ask me. And then we can go through anything that you have, any questions about code enforcement itself, we can go with. So if you look back at our February monthly report, so when we do these reports, we turn them in at the beginning of the next month, and it's going to show you what happened in the previous month. As you all know, starting at 1421 White Eagle Lane all the way down to 1437 Missy Circle, that's the one mobile home park that we've already passed ordinances on for demolition. Anything that you see in the red is going to be something that's open that we're currently still working on. And right beside it, you'll see what the next action is. So on those properties, we're still waiting on a title search provided by the town. As far as what that does is make sure that make sure that every single person that could be on the title actually gets notification. Moving on from there, anything you see in the green is what is abated. That means it's been demolished, it's been taken care of, because currently right now we're focused on minimum housing. The South Connor Circle was a mobile home park. We did have the property owners remove every single mobile home on there that was dilapidated, which was every one, and they are now gone. And that goes all the way, it was about 8 properties that was still left on that that hadn't been demolished yet from previous. As you can see, we're still waiting on title searches, several others. Anything you see yellow is on hold. That's because we've been requested by a town official, so let's put that on hold for a specific reason. look at 421 D Street, you'll see on the next one, a lot of those have been taken care of. That's also the Liberty Estates mobile home park off the garage. So we're still just going through, this is just it's a very large list. If you get down to violations by numbers, this is going to show on this particular report how many of each type of case is actually there. You will see some of junk piles, some junk vehicles, overgrown lots and stuff added in. The reason why it's on there is not because that's what we're technically going after, but if we go to a property that has minimum housing and it also has that on it as well, we go ahead and add it in. Even though the police department may be working on some of that as well, we go ahead and add it in, that way nothing's left on the table, you know, at that particular property.
The next one, Derek?
So,
The next one?
yeah, okay, there's the diagram. We'll actually go over that on the next one.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty much of the same. The only differences you're gonna see here is if we've added new cases or if anything else has been abated by the property owner or by the town. So here at Liberty Estates, we did have around 7 mobile homes demolished between the previous one and this one. They're on steady. We've actually worked out a deal with them to have at least 2 torn down every 30 days. They're actually ahead of schedule. So that they've actually torn down more than the 2 needed between the previous monthly report and this one. You'll also see monthly highlights. It just basically goes over the things that have been taken care of, or if there's anything at note that we feel like the board really needs to be aware of. So this is a pie graph that we update every time we do a monthly report. What you're going to see is the total number of cases that we have opened since we've actually been contracted with you. So we've opened 333 cases, we've closed and abated 168. Open in progress currently still is 56. Open new, we did open 3 new cases for the month to add to what's already there. Transferred 64. So what that is where we transferred cases that we had open that did not pertain to minimum housing to the police department some time ago when things took over that section. So that's what that number is. And then we currently have 42 on hold. All right, I can take any questions.
Can you speak to the on hold? We did talk about that in my office the other day.
Right. And that's one of the things that we definitely need to talk about. So cases on hold, if we're requested by the town to put on hold for a specific reason. So you have a lot of these cases that were put on hold because they're going over with previous town manager. What we did was going to tackle 10 every single month, 10 cases, and just go through the entire process from A to Z all the way to ordinance and keep moving that way to get down the list. So that's what we have been doing. So that's why you see the on hold is majority at the very end of our case log. So if you see 1 or 2 in between, that's just specifically because it was requested in between to put on hold. One of the cases that are on hold now is currently on Bragg. It used to be an old bank, and that was requested by the town to put on hold.
Any more questions?
Do you just do, housing, do you don't do commercial?
We do commercial deals as well. Yes, so if you see CM, it means commercial, maintenance or anything like that, that's for commercial deals. Anything that you see MH is for housing, minimum housing.
So that one on hold on Bragg Boulevard, that was the old BB&T?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are there any more questions? Town Manager, English.
I just want to update the town citizens on this particular topic. just to be aware, we've added Mr. Gabe here, Derek Gabe, to our focus group, our infrastructure focus group, so that he can include all of this information with the citizens who participate on this focus group. The main reason why, because we need to be aware, and this is part of our strategic plan, of how we plan on getting rid of these blighted homes and abandoned homes and commercial buildings. So just to let you know, this is an ongoing effort. He just doesn't come up here to report. We're meeting with him on a monthly basis. So I just want to let you know, he's also back reporting to me. Before we met, he was only reporting to our planning and inspections manager. So I just want to give you an update on the progress we're making with Mr. Gabe. Thank you. Mr. Babe, I'm sorry.
That's your fine.
Thank you very much, Ms. May. If there's any more questions? Thank you so much for the work that you do. We do see the improvement. I drove by to see the trailer park gone. So again, it makes a big difference. Our Spring Lake does matter. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number F, assist inventory assessment, Mr. David Honeycutt and Glenn McFadden.
Good evening, David Honeycutt with Legal Associates. I appreciate taking time to your presentation tonight. This time I'll cover a little bit about the asset inventory assessment work that we've been working on for some time now. Go through that, the asset management plans, what when of those, and also talk about a funding opportunity that you have available to submit for at the end of this month. Due applications are due on April 30th. I've tried to make this, I know a lot of this information has been presented in the past. I've tried to make this presentation relatively brief and kind of hit the highlights of things. But certainly if some questions or details want to go into, please stop me. Feel free to jump in with more detail. So overall, the point of the asset inventory assessment work was to look at the existing systems, to try to develop that inventory to understand the condition of your water and sewer systems for the town of Spring Lake. So if you have a water system, which consists primarily of your water source, you purchase water from Harnett County and Fayetteville PWC, and your water distribution lines. That's all the lines in the system that deliver water out throughout Spring Lake. Sewer system similarly has collection system lines, picks up all of that the water once it's been used, and takes it to the treatment plant. Y'all have your own wastewater treatment plants, capacity 1.5 million gallons a day. So we've reviewed, we did work on water modeling of those systems. We've done manhole inspections. We've done a lot of mapping work. We've looked at files. We've tried to get as best understanding as we can with information we can provide of what the condition of those systems are. That helps to define what the kind of current situation is. So overall, the challenges that you have here are within the water system. We see a significant amount of water leaks. When you look at billing data of what you're billing customers for that goes through the meter into homes and commercial, et cetera, versus what the water that's being purchased from PWC and from Harnett County. Approximately 50% of that water is being lost. It doesn't make it from the meter coming into the system to the meters going into the customer's homes. And that's due to a variety of reasons. Some it's in ongoing leaks, some others it's in water main break events that cause significant loss and quickly as those waters gush, et cetera. But overall, that long-term average, we're seeing a significant amount of water that unfortunately is not getting through the meters. And those systems also a big issue for system reliability. You've got aging water lines, you've got a lot of asbestos cement lines, you've got older galvanized lines, lines that system is 50, 60 plus years old. There have been some improvements over that time, but a lot of, but it has, the vast majority of the system is getting into that point of like what we call past its useful life. It's at a point that it's, the car that's past 100,000 miles, it may keep running or it may not. So that's our challenge. People in the water system, that's where it's really showing right now is that water loss number. That hurts, and it repairs and it hurts you on the cost of paying for water that you're not able to resell to others. On the sewer side of things, where we see the challenges is. I'm trying. I hear it now. I was not used to talking that close to that. So on the sewer side of things, where we see those problems with older sewer lines, similarly, if you get a similar age, you've got clay sewer lines. Those types of pipes have joints very close, very short lengths of pipe with lots of joints that tend to be susceptible to leaks. They also can cause cracks. That leads to what we call infiltration inflow in the system. That means water that's not supposed to be in your sewer getting into your sewer and reducing your capacity at the wastewater plant. So when you're treating water that you're not supposed to have to treat, it impacts your cost of treatment at the wastewater plant, and it impacts the ability to grow because that capacity is being utilized. You also see challenges with pipe collapses, damage to the roadways and things like that, so that aging lines start to have failures. And again, also sanitary sewer overflows that are caused to that. So, and the overall system, we are seeing challenges that need to be addressed, but that's. And the challenge, one of the biggest challenges is some of the timing of all that. It's been a long time since significant work was done within those systems. That means you've got a buildup of work that needs to be caught up on per se. So the capital improvements plan is intended to provide a roadmap, a prioritization within that of what projects need to be worked on as soon as we can. So in total, the asset inventory assessment identifies $36 million in water system projects and a little over $44 million in sewer system projects there. Those are largely water main replacements and sewer main replacements. There is a project to add a water tank in the water side of the system, and also to add isolation valves to help with water loss. On the sewer, again, it's primarily sewer line replacements. It also does include work at two lift stations. The sewer system does just have two lift stations, pump stations that the rest of it all flows by gravity. So, and the overall takeaway from that is it's trying to be a roadmap. It's trying to define priorities, but it's there's well, when we look at that from a roadmap standpoint, from a schedule standpoint, is we know where we need to go. We want to be headed in that right direction, but the time it takes us to get there is dependent on a lot of things. Some of them inside our control, some of them outside of our control there. So looking for ways to fund that capital improvement plan is really the biggest hurdle is certainly dollars. So within the setup of the asset inventory assessment, the state and some of the requirements of look at running the analysis on the rates to say, is it feasible? How can you support this capital improvements plan through rates? And so those numbers are within the report, and they're frightening. I'm going to use that word. They're certainly very high. And that's looking at, we ran a couple different analysis. One, trying to see what if we tried to just be as aggressive as possible, per se, and do this all within that full, all the work that we can within a 10-year CIP. What that number looks at, we've looked at also a reduced approach in trying to look for what's what is a reasonable, quote marks around that big is raise, which I also understand is still an aggressive and a challenging rate to look at. The other mechanism that it can look for is to find grants and loans and mechanisms to help fund that work. And most of the time, the answer is somewhere in between. It's that you're trying to do that we can to make the system internally sustainable, long-term viability for it to be self-sustained, but to find ways that we can find projects that would help you to be sustainable through finding grants and other things. So that's where the next step in this comes in. I think, actually, I did have one more slide on asset inventory assessment. So we talked about this one. So this is basically just a summary of this. We've looked at the current condition, we've developed this capital improvements plan, and it's intended to be a strategic plan, a map of what our goals are. It's a working document. So the thing I wanted to note here is that although we've looked at things pretty closely, it's a large system, and there's still certainly a good number of unknowns out there as things happen in the system. If you have failures, you have sanitary sewer overflows, you have that more work, and you actually say that it's done a little bit differently, that that may impact your priorities within the system. That you may say, well, actually, I thought this was going to be the one we needed to tackle first, but we've seen more issues here in the last couple of years. We need to move this one up in front of that. It can also mean adding something to it here as well. This has come up, we weren't aware of it. Some of the work on the sewer is doing some more investigation on your main interceptors. There's a lot of clearing and work that needs to be done there to better investigate some of that. So that could also impact that. So, and the one other piece I wanted to at least touch on while I was up here on the whole study, before I get into the applications here, is merger regionalization. So we are working through the second portion of the study to do options to consider feasibility of merger regionalization there. This is also part of the funding received from the study. Commissioner Jackson and Mr. English and I had a great conversation with Harnett County a couple of weeks ago. We're continuing to have those discussions of trying to find ways that we can partner with others in the area to make things better for all communities. So I think there's certainly some opportunities there to help improve that situation for Spring Lake. That doesn't be clear there too. That doesn't mean mergers or purchase or things like that are options to be considered with that, but that's not the sole purpose of those things. It is very much looking for those types of partnerships and ways that you can work together to make Spring Lake system function better and have a better long-term viability. That's what I want to talk on. I guess before I touch on that, does anyone have any questions on the asset management plan and the status on that? When they pause there.
Are there any questions?
Yeah, I think, are you going to talk about what's needed so we can apply for the grants, or do I need to?
Yes, that's what my next piece of this is talk about the grants.
In terms of the board voting?
Yeah, yes. So
okay.
The way I was going to, yes. So the asset management plans, by going through that study and having these documents prepared, this board to adopt those studies as the asset management plan. Where that quickly helps you to get funding is that there are that gives you points towards the competitive grant cycles. It's 100-point potential within the application cycle and that asset management plan, having been adopted, and asset management plan for the system is a 10-point item on that. So it's a significant potential that the state wants to see. We've looked at it, we've tried to come up with the best plan. This is a high priority for us, and we're submitting our first priorities to come out here for funding. So one of the resolutions on your agenda further on is to adopt those plans, which will help you in support of these applications. From that, this is a spring funding through Division Water Infrastructure. In particular, what we're looking at is through the Bible Utilities Program. So Spring Lake was identified as a distressed utility several years back, and there are dozens, at least, maybe even 100. I'm not sure exactly. Distressed utilities across North Carolina. So there are quite a number of utilities that are under this program. It was specifically developed to try to find ways to focus on those communities and to help them with long-term viability. So that's why they called it the Viable Utilities Program, is to look at ways that we can give somebody a leg up that they can then stand on going forward. This spring round, there's $20 million available in that program. Those are, under that particular program, are 100% grant as a distressed utility you're eligible for, whereas most of the other Division Water Infrastructure programs have portions of grant funds depending upon rates and other factors in those. So by being on that distressed utilities list, it gives you managed to compete towards these funding. It's a maximum amount of that $20 million statewide. It's a maximum of $5 million per applicant. As mentioned, it's a competitive scoring program that depends upon the type of project being submitted. There's four basic categories within the way it's set up. Again, it's 100-point max, but it's talk about the project benefits, the project purpose, the management of the system, and which is where the asset management
Question,
Yes, ma'am.
before we go past here.
Sure.
It states here, it says spring, the funding of 20 million, the distressed utility of 5 million max per applicant. So speak a little bit on that one. That
Yes.
5 million per applicant, whoever's gonna be applying for that,
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
So it is competitive statewide against all of those that are on that distressed utilities list compete through that. Of course, not every one of those would be submitting an application, but any that are within that would be eligible to do it. And you'll have some projects that come in anywhere from $1 million up to asking for that $5 million, or some may have asked for above and have some loan components or others for that as well. But in theory, it is very competitive, and in theory, you could have 4 high-scoring applications that are $5 million, and that's basically it. There's actually a small portion of that would be, that $20 million that will be allocated to study applications, future asset inventory assessments, and things like that as well. So it's, I think, exact numbers, but I want to say maybe 1.5 or 2 million, something like that, out of that 20 they're saying will be studies out of this thing. So it's definitely a competitive program. We've pre-scored the sewer project and the water project for Spring Lake, and based on numbers that we've seen in the previous cycles, the sewer application looks to be very competitive. That it's certainly a strong application based on there have been sanitary sewer overflows within the system, having the asset management plan approved, the age, type of infrastructure that we're working on replacing. All goes into that. So the sewer application scores in the mid-70s on those points based on our preliminary scoring. The water application is weaker. Unfortunately, I think it scores in the mid-50s in that process, and that's part of the reason that we're recommending a higher amount going towards the sewer system in that application than the water system. Although I think from a strictly Spring Lake's lead water system is at least as high, if realistically higher, of a need because of the water loss challenges that y'all are facing. Unfortunately, water loss is only 3 points in that application. That's what the assignment of that is. Something maybe we can push on in future cycles to consider that a little more strongly, but that's, the way the score sheet is the way we have to play the game per se. So that's the reason we've set it up as we have to go further, put more on the sewer project. There is a infrastructure authority board that reviews these applications. And there is always a possibility that board can go outside the score sheets as well. Certainly would make a case that trying to that these projects have merit that doesn't fit points categories in this, and be hopeful that there may be some potential there as well, but that's rarely, if ever, done on that, just from a standpoint of it's difficult to, you have a certain metric for them to say, well, we understand our metric, but we're gonna change it for this.
Thank you. Recognize the town manager.
So David and I meet, Mr. Honeycutt and I meet on a weekly basis, I think every Tuesday, to talk about this very issue. He brought this state grant to me, and I was actually told by some other folks in Raleigh as well about this. So we're bringing it to you, and we don't want to waste time. I want you to speak to the deadline on the state grants, if you could.
So the applications are due on April 30th. So we've got about 2.5, 3 weeks there to finish up the application. So we've done a lot of pre-work, having the asset management plan, asset inventory assessment work within that already helps to feed into that. And what we've tried to do is to get these projects identified in areas that both are strong needs for the town of Spring Lake, but also fit that program well.
Thank you, and I want to thank Mr. English as well as Commissioner Jackson for meeting with you all as well. I see, Mr. Honeycutt, you have a team that's sitting there that I met on last week, and I did speak to him on some of this information, still learning about the different options, and they did state there is always options. So we thank you for your team. We thank you, Mr. English, for getting them together for us to have to go forward to figure out what we're going to do with our infrastructure and our water.
Just for my clarification there, Clint McFadden is actually not directly with the McGill Associates. He's been helping out the town as part of a separate consultant.
Okay, well, thank you.
But just, they're all working on our water infrastructure.
Exactly. And just to see them back there, so I know you're working kind of hand to hand and working on the infrastructure.
Thank you for the clarification. So I guess the adoption tonight, is that something am I out of order, or is that something we can vote on?
That's the next
Yeah.
The adoption of the AI. Okay. So I'll wait on
The first 3 items under new business.
So that's on the, okay. So we'll wait till new business to
Right.
discuss that.
I thought it was, yeah, it's not on the presentation. Okay.
Just to clarify.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Honeycutt.
Thank you.
Those are the end of the presentations. We will move now to the new business. We'll move to resolution 2026-07, recognizing a state loan grant assistance for the water and sewage. I'll entertain a motion to approve or deny resolution 2026-7. Commissioner Cooper?
Thank you. I make a motion that we approve resolution 2026-09.
Second. Commissioner Thompson?
Ms. Jackson, did I?
So moved, it's gone on.
I second.
Town manager, do
No, I don't.
all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. We'll move on to resolution 2026-1, resolution approving water and sewers assistant manager plan capital improvement. I entertain a motion for resolution 2026-8. Commissioner Jackson?
I make a motion that we approve resolution 2026-08, resolution approving the water system asset management plan and capital improvement.
Thank you, Commissioner Jackson. Can we get a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved by Commissioner Jackson, second by Commissioner Burgess. Thank you. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. We'll move on to resolution 2026-1, resolution approving the sewer system management plan and capital improvement plan. Commissioner Cooper?
So moved.
It's been properly moved by Commissioner Cooper. Can we get a second?
Second.
Been second by Commissioner Burgess. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Is there any nays? Consulting agreement for the utilities, the LLC, the interim town manager, Mr. Dennis English. Motion to approve consulting agreement? Not yet.
So I want to first of all say that this is actually one of the most important parts of the agenda for us. When I first came into this position as your interim town manager, obviously the biggest and most important priority has become our water infrastructure. Each and every day I get a call about some type of leak happening, and we're spending money every time it happens. We need to make sure that this particular priority is addressed on a daily basis. And that means we have the most important, with it being the most important, we have the most trained and experienced experts to come in and assist us on a daily basis when needed. So I like to at this time bring up the A-team, as I've called them, on time and time again, to make sure that we understand what we're gonna bring this group in for. Mr. McFadden, if you can come up with the team. These individuals will address our water infrastructure strategically and tactically. I like them to talk about their experience. They will be working with us until we hire a director of water operations. And so I'd like for you, if you don't mind, Glenn, talk a little bit about why we went into this initiative. Thank you for the work you've done with me. I talk to this man each and every day, and the commitment that you've shown me. I want to make sure we move forward and educate and inform our citizens as well as our commissioners about this initiative. So thank you, Mr. McFadden.
No, thank you. Again, I'm Glenn McFadden with Myers Engineering, and I want to start off by saying what Dave has done here with your asset inventory plan with McGill is a great job, and I want to really stress it's a roadmap. I think that one of the things that I heard when I first started working with the town 18 months ago is there was this impression there's something wrong with your water and sewer system. It's really quite the contrary. It's a really strong system. It's a system that needs some TLC. And it's a system that's no different than any other town, really in America, not only North Carolina. So having a road plan, helping to get this asset inventory approved, it just shows that you're taking the time to look at, hey, what are our needs for the next 10 years? And it's at least in the back of your mind that you're addressing it. But I was brought in with Myers Engineering about 18, almost 2 years ago now to serve as your ORC. All water systems in North Carolina, all public water systems have to have an operator, what's called operator responsible in charge. for your water and your sewer system. And so I worked 34 years with Harnett Regional Water, and when I retired, went to work with Myers Engineering. One of my first contacts was with Spring Lake about the ORC position. So I came down, and since then been doing those roles on the water and sewer side, but also just filling in gaps. Working with the previous town manager, the finance officer, and really your wonderful staff. I want to say over the 18 months, in the water industry, you'll realize you can, people that you can count on. It's no fun when there's snow on the ground to be outside looking for a water leak when the road's freezing at 2 o'clock in the morning. So you guys got some great staff that want to work, that have the great work ethic. But one of the issues that we've come up with is how do we sort of train them? How do we get them to understand? It's not like running a cash register. You can't. I can tell you all day long how to fix a leak. I can write it down for you. I can do that. But until you get out there, each and every one of them is different. So there's little nuances, there's little things that can help save time. So one of the things that Mr. English asked is we're looking really, we're going down 2 roads. One, we're trying to find you a good full-time permanent public works director that would serve as your ORC and everything. All of us standing up here, our goal is not to be here forever. I like Spring Lake. I've come to love Spring Lake. I think we have a great time, a great town. But our job is to work ourselves out of the job. We want to train your employees. We want to get them licensed, and we want them to be self-sufficient, to be able to stand on their own. So one of the things that is occurring is we've got good contractors that can handle our large leaks. If we have a big water line and it's a bad situation, we've got contractors that can come in and fix it for us and help us. But one of the things that we're struggling at is the everyday, day-to-day items. And so one of the things that Mr. English asked is who can we get to come in and help train our folks, help work with them. You hear a lot about fixing these leaks. And again, all towns have a lot of leaks. And how do we get those under control? So my first thought was John Cannon behind me. John Cannon is the guy that might make me work out, so if you see him, but I work with John. I've known all these guys for a really long time, but I will go through. John Cannon, I worked with him about 30 years ago with Harnett Regional Water. He was, we went through hydraulic classes and things together, and I think he realized I wasn't going to leave Harnett Regional, so he left me and went to the city of Apex. I guess the good news, he started in Raleigh, came to Harnett Regional, then left and spent the rest of his career in Apex running water systems. He's licensed, got his A license, can run whatever, he's got his collections. So I knew John had retired from Apex a few years ago, so I thought it would be a good fit. I called him to see if he'd be interested in helping us here on this sort of role. He said, well, you actually know someone else. And I said, who? He said, Ricky Bird. Ricky Bird is also someone who worked for me about 34 years ago. And what do you think happened? Apex was a much shinier place to go, so he went and spent the remainder of his career in Apex, and he is currently getting ready to retire after 30 years of service in local government. And then they brought in Joe Gardner. Joe is someone actually Joe and Ricky, I went to high school with to show you how long I've known those guys. But anyway, Joe comes in and brings a contractor sort of background. He has heavy equipment, and they formed a company. When I was talking with John, he said one of the things that he wanted to do is offer smaller utilities. To get folks like this in the back of the room, you would have to pay $500,000 in salaries and payroll. I'm not joking. And so to get that sort of stuff, and they realized it's working in different places, this need throughout the state. So they want to come in and work hand to hand with our employees and help them. And when I say help them, you've got great guys and they call me and I can try to help, but I'm not as good as them. I recognize that, and you guys need someone that can do better. So I wanted to bring those folks in, and they bring, like I said, there's 100 years worth of experience standing behind me, and that anything I can do in the water sewer system when it comes to running it, fixing your leaks, teaching the guys how to do it, they're so much better than me. So I was really happy that they formed this. Their goal, and John will tell you that his goal is to work himself out of the job. He wants to bring a level of, or I shouldn't say him, they do. They want to show them how to do it the right way. Safety is very important in this. We want to make sure the guys know how to do things, how to do it right, and work with them. And so I'm excited about bringing this, while we're also on a second, over here trying to bring you a permanent full-time utilities director that we can get in here and that can help take us, much further down the road. So with that, I'll let John, if you want to say, or
Somehow I always end up first, I'm not sure. First off, thank Mayor Pro Tem Council for giving us the opportunity to stand here before y'all tonight. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. English, for inviting us. As Glenn said, I'll just quickly reiterate, I started my career with the city of Raleigh as a laborer. had a brand new son, needed a job, and that's what it started out, was a job. It became my career. I'm still in it, still doing it. Retired with 31 years and some change, so I guess I'm pushing about 40 years doing this stuff. I would love to have the opportunity to come in. I've understood that you have some very good people, and I've never reinvented the wheel. What I've been smart enough to do is when people smarter than me talk, I shut up and listen. I would like to take your new people and just fast forward them instead of taking as long as I took to learn. We'll shorten that time up with what we know, show them a few shortcuts here and there, and attack some issues that are at the forefront of the sewer system and of course the water system. Having your AIA is going to help a lot. I'd like to take a look at that information if you guys decide to let us work with y'all and talk to the engineers and see what we can accomplish first. Valves being one, we've already talked about that, so we've got a small plan together if we go forward with this. I don't know what else to say. If y'all have any questions directly for me, I'd love to answer them.
Introduce the rest of the team.
I can. Ricky Bird. I worked with Ricky, and I did steal him from Harnett County. I absolutely did. Ricky is one of the best equipment operators you'll ever meet. Been in some tough situations with him. And just to let you know, you're not an anomaly. There are a lot of small towns, medium-sized towns that have issues. The infrastructure, what your town is built on, you don't see. So you tend to forget it. Everybody does. Without it, you wouldn't have a town. You'd have a nice rural area. But like I said, what we want to do is come in. But Ricky I like to say I'm good, Ricky's better. And that's just me being honest. That's not trying to put him, any pressure, Ricky. But, and then Joe Gardner comes in. He knows how to run equipment. He has a background in business that neither Ricky nor I have. We're all three hands-on people, and all three, in my opinion, are very good teachers. And I do want to say this, if we do go forward with this, anytime y'all like to sit down and see what we've accomplished at any time, whether it be week one, whether it be month one, whether it be month two, I will always be more than happy. We're going to keep a defined list of what we accomplished, what we've taught your people, where we are, and where we're going forward. So anytime y'all like to sit down and question us, I would have zero problem with that. If y'all have any questions for me, please let me know. If not, I'll let Mr. Bird say a few things. Go ahead, Rick.
That's kind of hard to follow up on. We would really like to get in here and teach the guys that y'all have working for you and get them better. On the smaller, as Glenn said, day-to-day leaks, we'd like to find or try to help find a lot of the water loss that y'all are suffering from. So if this is possible, we would really like to help y'all recover. Thank you.
I'm Joe Gardner, and again, my background is more in business. I own and operate 3 businesses now, and I have a background in business administration from Campbell University, financial planning, concentration in trust management. And what I noticed off the bat was the water loss, the 50% water loss in rough numbers. You're over $60,000 a month. That's one on the ground, or it's not being metered. Your meters are aged. Ricky, he says that the age of meters, they're good for about 10 to 12 years. Y'all's meters are around 25 years old. Some have been changed. I think about 4,600 meters, around roughly 500 not being used because of houses not occupied. But with that being said, we would like to look at a schedule to try to see how to switch those water meters to increase y'all's income. I mean, that's the main thing to do, is get some money flowing, so that's what we got to do. Thank you.
Thank you all. Presentation was very well put, and I'm so glad that the citizens understand the infrastructure, because we don't understand if you're willing to train the employees. Because with the water loss, it's just, to me, as a taxpayer and living here, that is kind of ridiculous. And it leads me to believe that it could be a situation if we're not trained, and they're not trained, that it could cause a situation with the high bills of our citizens as well. But once everything ties in the infrastructure, so I thank you for the information. We'll continue to learn as well and train with those that you all train. Thank you so very much. The 18th. Mr. English, do you have anything else concerning your 18th?
There was by our attorney a couple things that we need to update and just put in there from a technical perspective, but we will definitely make those changes so we can get the contract. You can review the contract even more.
So what we're not gonna do, we're gonna table this one?
We have to just,
Table.
yeah.
So we'll table this,
Right. Well, I mean,
Well, because if you table, that means that it comes back.
that's another one.
No, what he says to you.
So the change was just the not to exceed.
We need to add a pre-audit and a cap.
So I want to back that up. It's a very small change, so I'll let Carly share what that is from our attorney.
Yeah. Thank you, Dennis. Attorney Porter, just, we need to make sure we add the pre-audit certification where Jimmy signs off on it to make sure funds are budgeted. And he also recommended possibly placing a cap on the funds. And if we go over that cap, we just need to make sure it gets board approval before going over those funds.
Jimmy, can you come up, please? Mr. Overton. Could you share that cap that we discussed in your office today?
We discussed a maximum of $50,000. The budget amendment that you approved at the previous meeting included additional $50,000 for engineering fees. So that's already been appropriated. As soon as you get the contract, I'll be glad to stand it.
so when we move forward with the motion,
Yeah, so now we can just, I'll let you.
I'd like to entertain a motion that we approve or deny the agreement with the utility consultant LLC. Ms. Jackson?
I make a motion that we approve the consulting agreement with Superior Utilities and Consulting LLC.
It's been properly moved. Can we get a second?
I second.
Been second by Ms. Thompson. All in favor? Any unreadiness?
We said we're gonna cap it at 50,000. Should that be in the resolution?
I believe
In
there,
the agreement?
I believe there, you can add a number figure in there.
The lawyer will make whatever necessary changes including that.
Okay, so that should be included in the motion then as well, right?
You can.
Yes.
I'll retract that and we will approve with the said, additions on there, the correction.
Okay, it's been properly moved, second. With the, with the correction of the 50,000 that we're gonna add to the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it. Thank you very much. Mr. Overton, you might as well just stay up here, looks like it. Budget amendment BA 19 FY 2026 Finance Director, Mr. Overton.
This is a budget amendment simply to move some money around within several departments. There is no increase in any department. There is no increase in the total budget. The town manager has the authority to move money around within the departments as long as you don't change the total. We're adding a couple thousand in the police department for training because they have a very low budget due to the water leaks and also to the snow that we had back in February and some vacancies. Our employees had to incur some overtime, so we're adding overtime in a couple of departments. And we're taking that from group insurance. When we bid out our insurance last year and switched to United Healthcare, Our insurance went down over $100 a month per employee, so we have a little money left there. Adding $1,000 in the fire department, the uniform. The largest item here is we just built a new lime storage facility out at the wastewater treatment plant with the FEMA grant money. But now we have to buy some lime to actually treat the water, and that $12,000 is for the purchase of that lime to fill up that lime storage facility. But again, there's no change in the total of any department and no change in the total budget. So just ask you to approve this one.
Thank you, Mr. Overton. I'd like to entertain a motion that we approve budget amendment, BA 19 FY 2026. Ms. Jackson?
I make a motion that we approve budget amendment BA 19 FY 2026.
Ms. Cooper?
Was
I'm ready?
Second, no, second.
Second. It's been properly moved by Ms. Jackson, second by Ms. Cooper. Any unreadiness? None? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any nays? The ayes have it.
Okay. Budget Amendment 20. We have a grant from the Department of Environmental Quality of $800,000 to repair the Regina Street and Mack Street sewer line. We bid this out a few months ago, and the bid came in at $1.6 million, double the amount of the grant. So we had to back up and decided that we had to pick which is the worst. Regina Street was worse than Mack Street, so we won't fix Regina. We let out a contract for $574,000 to SKC, the contractor, to fix the sewer line on Regina Street. When they dug it up, they found that the water line is also in a state of disrepair. It could eventually fail. It is also very close to the sewer line. It's actually in the way of them repairing the sewer line. So the engineers have recommended that we repair and replace both the water and the sewer line, because if we just do the sewer line, we're gonna have to dig straight up again at some future date and replace the water line anyway. We might as well do them both at one time while we got the road tore up. They have given us an additional change order of $214,000 to repair the water line. That plus the $574 for the sewer line is going to take up just about all of that $800,000. Unfortunately, there will not be any money left to do Mack Street, but Mack Street is included in the asset inventory assessment plan that Mr. Honeycutt showed you. So we're asking to move the money around, take away Mack Street for now, and replace the water and sewer line on Regina Street. It will still be right about $800,000. That's all the money we have.
Thank you, Ms. Overton. I'd like to entertain a motion, Ms. Cooper.
So moved.
It's been properly moved by Ms. Cooper. Can we get a second?
I second.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson. It's been second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Any nays? Okay, we'll move to budget amendment. Do you need to?
No.
We'll move to budget amendment 21. Mr. Overton.
All right, budget amendment 21, as what we discussed Saturday at the budget retreat. Our gentleman ran into the back of our street sweeper, damaged it, bent the chassis. It was declared a total loss by our insurance company. They're going to pay us $13,000 for the damage to the street sweeper. It is a total loss. Jason is going to put the street sweeper on Gov Deals tomorrow and try to sell it for whatever we can get for it, in addition to the $13,000. As Mr. Burgess asked, what about the driver who ran into it? Our insurance company will seek reimbursement from that other driver's insurance company, and they will go in and pay us, and then they'll go after the other driver. So Derek and Steve went out and got bids for a new street sweeper. We got 4 bids. The lowest bid was Amic Equipment Company for a Timco street sweeper at $220,000. The other bids were $313,000, $393,000, and $259,000. The Timco and Elgin are your two most reputable or most prevalent street sweepers. They looked at it as well. It is, one reason it's cheaper is it's a little smaller street sweeper than some of the others, or larger. The other reason is this street sweeper is a demo. They have demonstrated it, it's not used, they just used it to demonstrate to 3 towns, including us. They have asked that they be allowed to demonstrate to 2 more towns, but we have said that we will hopefully commit to buying it before they sell it to one of these other towns. Because they used it as a demo, we're getting a little bit of a discount. That's why it's only $220,000. That is a good price for a street sweeper, because I was expecting the second be at $250 or higher. So, but they do need a commitment soon, or they'll turn around and sell this street sweeper to one of the other 4 towns they demonstrated to. Right now, we haven't swept the streets in several months because the street sweeper's been broken and half totaled. So we need to do that in order to keep our storm drains clean. So we're requesting that you approve the budget amendment to buy the street sweeper, and then also award the contract to Amex Equipment Company for Timco street sweeper at $220,000, as they are the lowest bidder.
Thank you, Mr. Overton. Entertain a motion to approve or deny Budget Amendment 21.
So moved.
It's been properly moved by Commissioner Thompson. Can we get a second?
I say.
Mr. Burgess, second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Any nays? Okay, moving right along.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Sanford would be very proud to know, I've looked at this equipment, this street sweeper, and it looks like Town of Spring Lake is gonna be shining. Again, making sure that the storm water drains are not clogged up, so I'm very proud of this, approval for this, as well as the citizens will be proud as well. So we'll move on to a certificate, from Ms. Jackson's property from the town clerk.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. So, last board meeting, the board approved a resolution for me to do a sufficiency report and a feasibility study. I did that, and everything is as was petitioned by Ms. Rhonda Jackson. The feasibility study, I'm just going to go over that just a little bit. It is currently zoned as R10. However, the applicant is wanting to rezone, is seeking rezoning to C3 conditional. They are going to have to work with Cumberland County regarding the conditional. So we actually, myself, Stephanie, and Cumberland County has a meeting with them tomorrow to make sure they will be okay to do this. It's currently vacant with it's currently has 2 vacant homes on it. So there's no residents. Excuse me. Fire protection, police protection, sanitation services will be good there. Water services is already provided. However, they do not have sewer services, but there is a sewer line there. So they will have to pay a fee to tap into our sewer. So here is, if you see up here on the monitor, there is 945,959. That is one parcel of land. Here in the green is our water, and in the blue is our sewer. So we got sewer. They got sewer. They just gonna have to tap into it. And I believe that is all I have to report at this time. And well, following this, the next agenda item is to approve a resolution for me to go ahead and do a public hearing notice. However, I will not be posting that notice until April 27th. We can get into that when we get to that resolution. Sorry. Thank you.
Ms. Audrey. Okay, for information only, we'll move on to Resolution 2026-10, the fixing of the public hearing in question, that's Ms. Carly as well.
Yes, ma'am. Like I was just saying, I will not be posting the public notice into the 27th because I want to make sure my information is correct from Cumberland County regarding the seeking rezoning. So once I get that information from Cumberland County tomorrow, I'll bring it back to the next board meeting. But this is just going ahead and approving me, the board to go ahead and schedule the public hearing. And I believe that's going to be May 11th. And per statute, it has to be in the paper no less than 10 days, no more than 25 days one time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Entertain a motion to approve or deny. It's on here for approval.
Yes.
It's on here for approval. Page 100.
Yeah.
Entertain a motion. Ms. Jackson?
I make a motion that we approve resolution 2026-10.
It's been properly moved by Ms. Jackson. Ms. Cooper?
Second.
And second by Ms. Cooper. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it, any nays? We'll move right along.
Thank you, board.
Thank you. Resolution 2026-11. Commissioner of the closure of Manchester School. That's Ms. Jackson.
So we have been attending the board meetings for the closure of Manchester Elementary School. I was very disturbed at the last meeting that they had. One of the board members stated that one of the reasons that they were closing the school was because they didn't see growth in Spring Lake. As a matter of fact, he said there was no more growth in Spring Lake. So we all know that to be untrue. The young gentleman that stepped up earlier gave us figures where the numbers of the students that they had was incorrect. They have a board meeting tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last board meeting before the forum on April the 27th. So the board has come to the conclusion that we need to step up. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna have a resolution that is going to be telling the school board that we also do not like the closing of Manchester Elementary School. We're going to fight to the very end of what we need to do. Closing out schools to me is not an option. They need to figure it out. The repairs and stuff that they're talking about, they didn't fix it when they were due. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on. So I definitely want to echo Ms. Chadwick and the other young man that stood up there, how important it is to go to the board meeting tomorrow. If you're going to speak their language, and their language right now is, we don't have any growth. So we're gonna have facts that we have houses coming up, apartment complexes coming, we have all of that coming up, so that's not a fact. So, and our schools are important to us, and it's important to our children. And then April the 27th is the public forum. That's the public forum that we have been demanding them to have. They were actually trying to close it without that public forum. So now they're gonna have it. It's gonna be at Manchester Elementary School. And I believe it's at 6 o'clock? Yes. At 6 o'clock. We need everybody in Spring Lake there. Everybody in Spring Lake there. It might be a good thing if we have our police force on hand as well. Everybody needs to be at that forum on April the 27th. The doors open at 6, be there at 5. We can have signs where we can be posted up saying we don't want our school closed, because if the thing is gonna change, it's gonna change that night. So we definitely need to be in the place and be ready to do what we need to do. We also have instructed our attorney to send them a letter letting them know our opposition of closing our schools. So it's in the Lord's hands now.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Can I get a consensus from the board that we have our attorney to transmit a formal letter? Okay. Do we have a consensus? We'll just raise our hands. Yeah. Okay, so we have a consensus. We'll move forward and get our attorney to draft up a letter from the closures of the schools. So again, want to thank Ms. Jackson, and well as Ms. Chadwick.
And I want to say, excuse me, Mayor Pro Tem, I want to say this is very good for Spring Lake. Because right now, I have not heard of any other town or any other district where the board is stepping up to take care of our school system. So this is something that they're not going to be used to seeing. So that's another good thing as well. So thank you to you citizens who have been there for day one, who's there. Thank you to those who wanted to come because of work. And thank you for all those who prayed for us. So we want to tell you we appreciate everything you do.
Thank you again. This is very important. It's very important that we get educated and our children be educated. But no times have changed, so we work very closely with you all. And Ms. Chadwick, I'm glad to know that some of the churches have contacted you because you've been trying to reach out to them as well, because it does affect the whole community. So again, thank you all for the work that you're doing for our great town of Spring Lake and our children. It's very important that they get educated and not move them too far away that they can't understand and learn what they need to learn. So we'll move right along to Budget Amendment 2026-11.
Resolution.
A motion. A resolution? I'm sorry. A motion to approve resolution 2026-11. That's on 107. That's the last thing on the.
Yeah, 2026-11.
It's been properly moved by Ms. Cooper. Can we get a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Burgess. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? It's been properly moved. Okay, we'll move right along. It says for the mayor, Kia Anthony, we'll continue to lift her up in prayer. We thank you all for staying for this meeting. I thank you all for the opportunity that as I continue to serve this community in the capacity that I serve as minister as well as Mayor Pro Tem, that I will continue to stand strong for this great town of Spring Lake. We will continue to work together. We'll continue to learn together. We live here, we pay taxes, we want our infrastructure done, and we want a better town for our citizens. I've been living here for over 46 years. So I thank you for all that you do for this town. Mr. Brown and all the people that made their public statements, we take that in consideration. If we're gonna grow, united for prosperity, we have to continue to work together. We have people that experienced, that was here, people that is experienced, and sometimes we have to understand there's no boss in this job. We all work together. The citizens elected us to do the job that they thought that we would do. I will continue to stand for the citizens of this great town of Spring Lake. So again, thank you for this opportunity. We'll continue to pray for Mayor Anthony's return, and the Lord will give her traveling mercy. Thank you. Next.
Good evening. So many of you know that the banner program for the MVAC, if you're interested in getting a banner or having flown for a loved one, that due date for the application deadline is on the 17th of this month, which is Friday, if I'm not mistaken. And they will be flown from Flag Day, which is May until November. And then also Saturday, the 18th of April from 9 to 12 at 1235 Ramsey Street. If you have an animal that needs to be vaccinated, you can take them there and get $5 rabies shots. Adults can get flu and COVID shots as well. And they even have STI testing as well. And that's all I have.
That's the same facility?
Yes, all of that is at the same facility.
Dogs and the people being vaccinated.
Dogs, adults, and kids as well, all included.
I just want to make sure.
One-stop shop.
Oh, okay, well, thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Thompson. Commissioner Jackson.
Again, I just want to echo how important it is to make sure that we can make that meeting tomorrow at the school board that you do, as well as to make sure that you're there on April the 27th at Manchester Elementary. I want to take time to thank our town manager, Dennis English. You have stepped in and you have been on a roll. I've seen the changes, the community has seen the changes, have got so many good compliments. So what's going on and how it's going and the things that you're doing. So again, sir, thank you, holding, stay in there, hang in there, and, we appreciate you.
And also, they have a health and wellness fair over here at this Spring Lake Senior Citizens Building on Wednesday, April 15th, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. And the public is invited to attend. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, and Spring Lake Community, Support Center is having a baby giveaway for anybody who needs any clothes for their babies or anything, and it's free to the public, and that would be on Saturday at 10 o'clock at Burgess Boxing.
Commissioner Burgess?
I want to thank everybody for coming out. The Appearance Committee is having a cleanup this Saturday, 9 a.m., I'm sorry, right here, 245 Blue Street. You can pick up your trash bags, gloves. We need, the Appearance Committee also needs a date in May for the board, because of Boyd's bureau rebuild, which is rebuilt anyway, but they're asking for some of the commissioners.
What date?
We're looking for a date.
Oh, okay. What day?
I would like to thank Mr. Charles. We had our cleanup on the first weekend of Saturday, and we were the only two out there. But I do encourage other citizens, if you want to see the town continue to look nice, please come out, bring that energy of, bring it on out there and help us pick up trash. Thank you.
And I know it's hard work, because I did it for 16 years with Ethel T. Clark, and we got out there and we cleaned, we went down into the trenches off First Street, so I know it's hard, so I thank you all as well. But Mr. Burgess, you stated that this is the, every 6 months, the one for the whole town cleanup, right? And different people come out. This is not just the.
For the county.
This is the county. Okay, so that's this Saturday, and I think when I was reading, they're gonna have, where you can bring your bulk items. I don't know if it's the paint and something else that you can bring. And we'll have the employees out there, Mr. English, and the 3 different, normally it is the one, that's how it's normally set up. But they'll probably get with you to let you know. And I think, are they putting the signs out? They only put the signs out in the community, so we'll know that it's the county meeting we have every 6 months. Can you check into it, so that the communities will know that it's the big one, and if we need to bring stuff out, we can bring it out. But they normally have the trucks out there to pick up. Okay, Ms.
I'd like to also say on the blighted properties in town, we're working on them. We're working hard on them. Police force, working on them. We're gonna have something done. I want to thank Dennis English for the hard work he's putting in, for bothering me every day. But it's a good thing. We're working together. We're gonna move forward.
Thank you, Burgess. All right, now Ms. Cooper asked me to let her be last, so. You always last.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out. The only thing I wanted to say was, I wanted to thank the town for the flowers and the card and the resolution for my uncle. My uncle, Alexander Lucas, also known to everybody else as Buck, passed away. He lived a great life, 94 years. And we funeralized him on Saturday. So I just want to thank everybody who sent their well wishes and everything. Yeah, that's
all she had. Well, again, we offer our condolences, and Mr. English, I know you sent out something about the school as well, so thank you for stepping up to make sure we got, and Carly, that we got that out to Ms. Cooper and her family. So we'll move along. We're going into closed session. I entertain a motion. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had did all the talking you was gonna do for tonight, but let me not forget you.
Thank you for
Look, you see the cake, man.
thank you for and thank you.
The what?
So
I will make my report, I try to make it brief, but first and foremost, I do feel like I have to be transparent about our audit. We continue our weekly coordination meeting with Sherry Becker regarding our town's outstanding audits. During this process, it's become necessary that we report our FEMA-related funds, which has extended the audit's timeline. The revised completion date for the 2021 audit is now projected for the end of this month. We remain committed to maintaining the transparency of bringing all audits current as quickly as possible. We have received all departmental budget requests and are now moving into the next phase of our budget process. A special meeting I'm asking we call for the governing body to go ahead and discuss their budget. So I'll put that together for you all with some recommended dates. So the key upcoming milestones are as follows. Friday, May 1st, proposed budget submittal to the local government commission. Friday, May 22nd, public hearing, advertisement for June 8th. Monday, June 8th at 6 p.m., public hearing for fiscal year 2027 proposed budget. And Monday, June 22nd at 6 p.m., adoption of our final budget ordinance, capital improvement plan, and fee schedule. Personnel recruitment. We are actively working to strengthen our leadership team and operational capacity. Recruitment efforts are currently underway for the following key positions: a public works director and a human resources manager. Filling these roles are critical to improving our service delivery and organizational efficiency and long-term sustainability. Water infrastructure and regional collaboration. Regionalization feasibility, as he mentioned earlier, we met with Harnett Regional Water, and we have held our initial meeting to begin evaluating merger regionalization feasibility with Harnett Regional Water. And this effort is an important step towards identifying long-term solutions for our system sustainability, efficiency, and service reliability. Legislative engagement. We met with our legislative delegation to formally present our advocate for our town's water infrastructure needs. These discussions are essential as we pursue funding opportunities in this coming short session in the General Assembly. In our strategic focus area number 1, safe, reliable, sustainable water, sewer, and stormwater systems. We have convened meetings. Thank you, Commissioner Jackson, for spearheading that with me as well. We've convened meetings with key stakeholders to begin advancing this priority, and I would like to thank again Commissioner Jackson for spearheading. So we continue to move forward. We're going to be meeting focus area number 2, revitalizing town infrastructure with Commissioner Burgess coming up on the 21st. So with that said, I want to thank you all again for this opportunity to be your interim town manager at this time.
Thank you, Mr. English. And I'm so glad that you mentioned about the audit. We've been working very hard about the audit. I left off this board and we had a situation with the audit, come back on the board and we still have a situation with the audit. Mr. English got on the phone and he got in touch with attorneys, he got in touch with the auditors needed some information they had been waiting on. We thank Mr. Overton as well when we meet to explain everything. But look like we're moving forward to make sure these audits are up to date. That means with the town's audits are up to date, we have a better look if we need to try to get loans for future reference. So again, thank you, because I think we're moving forward in a direction that we should with our audits for the town. Again, thank you. And now, if that's it, Ms. Carly, what do you have?
Oh, I'm good.
You good?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, thank you. We'll move, entertain a motion to go into closed session. Pursue, NCGS 143-318-11. Ms. Jackson?
I make a motion that we go into closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318-11A3, dash attorney-client privilege.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Can we get a second?
I second.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson. It's been properly moved and second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. So, thank you all again. We'll go into closed session and continue to conduct the town's business.
Cause you just, girl, you was at it, honey. I could just feel it. No, he's working on his doctorate right now. He busy.
Make a motion to come out of closed session. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
One properly moved by Commissioner Thompson and second by Ms. Cooper.
We need to say, what did you say?
Well, we gotta come out of closed session.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. We gotta come out and then we can do some
Yeah,
business.
second.
Okay, there was action taken in closed session. That's on Monday, the 27th of April, to move the time to 3 o'clock for the regular board meeting. I'd like to entertain a motion. Ms. Jackson?
I make a motion that we move the board meeting from 6 o'clock to 3 o'clock on April the 27th.
Can we get a second?
Second.
Mr. Burgess, second. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Any nays? Okay, so on Monday, the 27th of April, it's been moved to have the meeting at 3 o'clock instead of 6 o'clock on the 27th. Make a motion to adjourn, entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
No, you just, you
Only
adjourn.
you adjourn.
All you do is say adjourn.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll adjourn the meeting.
Did you get? Did you get?
There you go. You see how